Hi there and welcome back, where it's time to continue our journey through the Unleash album, EP thing, whatever you want to call it, by Band-Maid, by talking about the song Balance. Yes, balance. Now, we're always honest on this channel. That's one of the things that I think has made our community so good, and one of the reasons why I really appreciate you guys are always great with the conversation. You can kind of see where this is going. This is a song that has two things I really love about it, and one thing that really doesn't work for me. We're going to jump into the song Balance, for better or for worse. Unusually, I'm going to start by talking about the chorus. I don't usually do that, but this is a case where I need to. This chorus is really catchy, and it's on an album where, I mean, I've said before, Band-Maid, I never consider them to be a chorus writing sort of band, not in a catchy way at least. They do choruses that pay off the sort of emotional build-up of a song, but they don't do the sort of traditional rock sing-along chorus. Yeah, okay, they have some exceptions, choose me. Okay, I mean, as a general, that's not the usual focus of their writing. However, this is a record with some really good choruses pretty much peppered throughout, and this is the catchiest one of them all, in my opinion. Now, it's probably not the most technical one in that it goes for what you'd expect from a catchy chorus. It's got a sort of repeated chord pattern in the background, kind of basically leaning on a four chord structure. It's got a melody that is kind of designed to be somewhere between catchy and also melodically a little bit interesting. It's a good balance of the simplicity of an earworm and also the knowing nuance and songwriting chops of a well-structured chorus. A lot of the things that make this actually really work on a more deeper level is that Psyche's performance. Again, she's done so good on this album, but again, she really throws her voice into this and delivers the chorus with a great deal of passion that you wouldn't get from, say, a boy band delivering their catchy new single. No, this is something where you really get a feeling of passion as well as the catchiness. So the chorus here was just really brilliant. Not the most technical, but definitely one that was the most effective. I loved it, and it was stuck in my head long after the song stopped playing. Brilliant chorus. So what's the next thing I like about this song? Well, that would be the playful rhythm. We're going to break this down in a little bit more detail in a minute, but basically one of the things I liked is that it went from a verse that had a tripleted beat into a chorus that was very much a 4/4 sort of normal style 1 2 3 4 beat. And what I mean by that is because you have your bars, your beats, but then you break up the beats into little sections, little counts. So it can be 4 counts or 3 counts between, tripleted being 3 counts. I'm going to try and keep this simple, but I've talked about this before. But if you've got a beat that's going like this, you can be 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, or it could be 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. That was a bad example, but basically you can keep the same tempo but change the little counts in between. Now these are the very small aspects, and of course if you're doing that sort of tripleted 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, it gets a little bit of a swing vibe to it. It starts to swing a little bit more, and for me that was what really was good about this, is that in the verses you had that kind of swinging jazz feel that really allowed Psyche to sing with a good sort of bellow to it, kind of give it that jazz chop. I love when I hear her singing over a tripleted beat, which we don't get so much, but something about her vocal style and personality and that slight jazziness she has, soulfulness I guess you could say, is really very much shone upon by that kind of rhythm. And then it goes into the more traditional 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 for the chorus, where we get a much more sort of banging, head-banging, rocking chorus, and it fits together beautifully. I love the fact that they have the bravery to go between the two, and for me that worked really well. We don't get to hear enough of those tripleted sort of beats in songs, and so hearing it mixed in and having a slight change to the way the rhythm's structured, I just liked that. I thought that was one of the things that really worked really well. But also, unfortunately, that does very directly bring us on to the bit of the song that I didn't like. Okay, so it's going to sound weird considering what I just told you I liked about the song, but I kind of really didn't vibe very well. In fact, I found it distractingly... I disliked the riff. Now, there's a really interesting reason for this, is that effectively what we get here is we get a riff where Konami is very much playing in that sort of 4-count structure, and underneath you've got Akane who's playing a drum beat that definitely in the kicks is tripleted, and it doesn't work. It sounds kind of messy. It doesn't vibe at all for me. to the point that it kind of, for a song that's so catchy and so enjoyable and twists and turns so wonderfully, it feels like a sort of a messy issue there. Now, I know there's going to be plenty of people saying, oh, Howard, it's just your brain is not able to comprehend how amazing it is. And look, I'm totally aware that you can have songs where maybe there's one song where you've got one section where you've got a 4-chord, a 4 bar structure and a 3 bar structure over the top of each other, and it can work the way they sort of phase around each other, or even something where you've got 4 beat structure over 3 beat structure. I get that, but when we're breaking down to those tiny little very quick counts, it doesn't work as much. They don't get the phasing of a tripleted beat over a sort of 4 count beat really working so well. Instead, it just kind of sounds sloppy because the little differences in where the notes land are so quick and so precise. And a lot of the time when you're playing a tripleted beat, a lot of where the beats are is implied. You're not playing every single, you're not sort of hammering away 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. You're just playing on little kicks there, little points. So it's not, it just kind of sounds messy when the notes land. And it's a shame because if you take like Konami's guitar riff and say, okay, imagine Akane was playing a beat which was on the same rhythm underneath that, it would not be the most like spectacular standout riff, but it would be a good little sort of hectic riff of the kind that we're used to hearing from her. If you took the notes that Konami was playing and you switched them over to a tripleted riff like what we're getting from Akane in the background, I think that would, depending on how she broke that up, that would still be really good and actually probably be really interesting. That would probably be the way that I would be inclined to go. Now, as well, Konami is obviously a chief songwriter, so I don't think there's anything of an error. This was very clearly intentional, and full credit on them for trying something. I just don't think this works. It's the sort of thing that if you listen to it enough, you can normalize it and make it kind of work in your brain, and that's kind of where I am now. I can kind of enjoy the song, and yet the riff doesn't stand out to me because it feels more like something that I kind of sit through rather than get any particular kick out of. So, yeah, I kind of was wondering at one point whether the name of the song, Balance, is kind of like an ironic reference. Is that an ironic reference to that? Smash the dislike button. Actually, you know what? Please don't. Hey, you do what you want, but again, what I really like is the fact that usually on this channel, everyone is so kind and they love the fact that we have good discourse and discussion. So if you appreciate someone being honest and saying what they think, regardless of if it means that they're going to lose all their subscribers, then maybe bring yourself to press the like button. Maybe. Should we move on? So in conclusion, this is a song that actually overall, despite me having one little niggling thing that I feel is a bit of a shame about this song, I really enjoy this. It's catchy. It did take me a while to fall in love with it because, as I say, I had to kind of normalize in my head something that doesn't sit right with me. But, you know, you can normalize something after a while. And once I kind of got past that stage, you can really just enjoy how much the things like the chorus stays with you. It stays with you long after any other qualms about the song, at least from my perspective, have finished. It stays stuck in your head. It's a real fun one that you kind of feel like you can sing along to. It has some beautiful shifts of rhythm in the rest of the song that are absolutely brilliant. We get just all the usual things you'd expect from a good rocking song. And overall, regardless of what I say, I like the fact that it's got bravery. I like the fact that it has little rhythmic games going on in there that keep it interesting. I like the fact that we got to hear some really fun performances from Psyche. Again, I keep on saying this, she's done a fantastic job. Everyone did fantastic on this record, but I really love Psyche's vocal performances on here, and just in those verses it's so fun hearing her just sort of chew up the audio tape. We talk about actors chewing up the scenery. She's chewing up the tape with this one. Actually, that sounds bad when you say chewing up the tape. Imagine whatever the good equivalent of that would be. She's doing great, and she's really just I love the performance overall in its sort of kind of quirky fun swaggering aspects. So another great Band-Maid song. Having it so early on the album, it is track 2, isn't it? Yeah, it's track 2. It's the first track with Psyche singing. That's an interesting one. I think that it works from the perspective of having a really good chorus. I don't know if necessarily I think it's going to make the best single because of the reason that I'm not going to keep on harking on about, but that's the first thing you hear of the song, and that's kind of a bit of a wobbly start from my opinion. However, I do think that it has like such a good chorus that, who knows, maybe this will become a single. We will see. But those are my thoughts. As always, get in the comments, tell me what you think if you haven't already tuned out or just pressed unsubscribe or started throwing darts at your screen because my picture's on it. Don't do that, you damage your screen. And until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, come back. Ciao, ciao.